Natural Habitat Podcast. The Natural Habitat Podcast.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Natural Habitat Podcast. My name is Mikey Booyah.
My name is Unknown.
And I have a story for all of you guys, and you too, Joey. On my way down here to the studio, I stopped in a neighboring city to buy some drugs. And I went, got my drug nugs, and was driving up to the studio. And I was coming through this construction zone that is that we've been passing through it every day because it's right on the way to the main office. So I drive by this construction guy at least 5 times a day and wave at him. You know, and we have this little waving relationship that we have going on. And anyway, I'm pulling out of the gas station, and I see this cop, and he's waiting at the crosswalk with an old lady shuffling her walker across the street, right? So I'm like, cool, this old lady's going to buy me some time. I'm going to get some distance between me and this police officer, and then I'm going to dip into the podcast, headquarters. So I start going. I'm watching him in my mirror. And the old lady crosses the crosswalk, and the cop just guns it. I see his front end of his car like lift up, and he just guns it after me. He's going way faster than the rest of the cars, and I'm like, shit, this cop, he stared at me. He's coming after me. So I drive through this construction area. Here's the guy that, we'll call him Dave. Here's Dave, the guy I've been waving at 5 times a day. And I drive by him at, maybe 20, 25 through the cone zone, and he has his little slow sign up. And as I go by, I go, stop that cop. And that's all I say out my window. Stop that cop. And sure enough, Dave fucking flips his sign around to a stop sign and stops traffic and makes the cop stop with everybody else. And I got away. By the time Dave let him go, I was out of sight and I was gone. So shout out to him.
That's fucking dope.
Shout out to that construction worker that had my back and put some distance between me and the police.
You better go make it rain joints on that motherfucker.
Right? I'm going to hook him up on my way out. I'm just going to,
For real.
hand him something.
Every time you drive by, throw a joint at him. Bam. You are the man.
Yep, he hooked it up. So today we're going way back into a time when music television consisted of music, and there was a lot of entertaining shows that weren't music oriented on there, but for the most part, there was music videos and music-related shows on music television. A lot of people don't know that's how it got its name. It got its name from playing music constantly. It was just a constant source of music. And now you have your, I don't even know what shows are on MTV right now. Like Horrible, Real World Season 52, maybe like the Kardashians are on MTV or E.
I don't know. They do play other shows from other networks. Like they acquire shows like syndicated shows or whatever.
Yeah.
They have a lot of new shows too. That I don't know. I don't have cable, so I can't follow it. You know what I mean? Like I haven't had cable or satellite or anything for years now because it's not really worth it. I could get everything on the internet. So I really just.
Yeah, so
don't pay attention to anything on MTV. Not even the awards show. Really, all you hear is drama usually, and it's just turned into like a reality platform. It's not even about music anymore.
Yeah, it's about a fabricated reality platform where nothing's real and it's pushed off as reality. And I'm looking through current shows that are airing on MTV in 2015. We have 16 and Pregnant. We have Snooki and JWoww. We have X on the Beach, Teen Wolf, Eye Candy, Scream. These all sound horrible, all right? These are all horrible shows that are either fucked up, horrible reality shows or weird series that they made. And nothing on here is music related whatsoever. I'm flipping through it. I see nothing. There's one MTV Unplugged that's still a thing, apparently. But I remember coming home after school and sitting down and watching fucking MTV, watching music videos. You'd watch TRL and you'd see the new fucking, Eminem video, or Jay-Z was Big Pimpin' and Spinning the Cheese all over MTV at around 4 o'clock when I got home. So that's something that kids are definitely missing out on today. If you are 18 years or younger, then you didn't appreciate MTV. You didn't get it like we got it. And that's really the only way, in my opinion. What are your earliest memories of MTV, Joey?
The same. I mean, I remember back in early MTV's days when it was just music. You know what I'm saying? Like before really anything. And the first couple shows were like Road Rules and Real World, and those were even cool. You know what I mean? Like at least those had like they were firsts for like reality TV shows, I guess.
Yeah.
There wasn't really a platform to go off of before those, so like they were really original, and they were super interesting because nobody had ever been put in those type of scenarios before. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like it is now where it's like everywhere and you can't escape it. You know, like all these reality series that play the same scenarios over and over again. Back then it was original, and you didn't know what it was. Kind of like everything they did was like trying to appeal to a younger generation, younger crowd, and it was younger people that were running the network, so like they really kind of understood it. And we came up in like the golden era, the golden MTV era, you know, when everything was really dope back then, and it was doing first of everything. Like the award shows were crazy and they were really killing it, and then their animation that came along started killing it, and their reality shows when they implemented them started killing it. And you know what I mean? Like MTV has always really been like a trendsetter all the way up until TRL, and then after that, once we started getting into like 16 and pregnant and things like that, I think that's when we took a turn for the worse.
Yep, I agree. And you know, even before our time, there was a time when none of these shows were on, and it was just all music, just constantly music all the time. And
in the 80s.
Yeah, people loved that shit, and it was so important to you know the people and the viewers that you know my dad, Papa Booyah, he was a piece of shit.
Papa Booyah, Papa Booyah, Papa Booyah.
Papa Booyah was a piece of shit to begin with, but I don't blame him. I don't blame him for this, because I'm sure a lot of people did the same thing. When I was about, I'd say 11, I found a tape in the family's, you know, VHS box of unmarked VHS tapes, and it just had written on a little piece of paper, Michael's birth is what it said. So no. Wow. And there was a vagina in it, but not what you think. And it says Michael's birth on it. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy. This is me being born. I don't know if I want to watch this. This is pretty nuts. And then my mom grabs it and she's like, I'm going to watch it. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to leave. So I go out of the room, and then I hear my mom screaming, all pissed off. And I go back in there, and my mom and my dad had been separated for like 10 years at this point. And the tape of my birth had Pearl Jam live recorded over it off of MTV, because they were doing a live, like an MTV Unplugged acoustic set, and he fucking couldn't find a tape, so we used that one. And that's how important this shit is to people, you know what I mean?
Wow.
So and me being a fan of music, I was not very upset. I watched it, you know, quite a few times. I didn't take it personal, you know what I mean?
Nice. Mm-hmm. Good time.
Yeah, so that's my earliest memory of MTV. That it took the space on my tape. And then my last memory of MTV, when I stopped watching, probably the last thing that I was really into was Celebrity Deathmatch. That was in the late 90s when that started, 98, I think.
Yep.
And
yeah, that's still good.
Yeah, and it's coming back. Celebrity Deathmatch is back.
Yep. Stoked on that. I remember a lot of those shows, man. I remember when Beavis and Butthead came out, and that was a big thing. And it was like really new for its time, and it was like pushing the envelope for animation. And I remember going to see the movie at the movies and everything. Like it was huge for our age kids, you know, like our generation or whatever. Singled Out. Remember that show?
Yeah. Chris Hardwick, all fat.
Yeah.
Fucking
what else?
I know that Beavis and Butthead was my shit. I was really into it, and I still am. Did you ever did you watch when they revamped the series? They did one season a couple years ago.
Yeah,
and they did all new music videos. And
yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was good. And fucking, they got their start. Mike Judge got his start with Beavis and Butthead on the show Liquid Television. Do you remember that back in the day? It was like real weird, dark, cartoony shit. It was all animated and went along with music and shit. And they would play music videos and have Beavis and Butthead talk shit about him. And eventually he got a show deal out of that, which I'm glad he did, because Beavis and Butthead is definitely influential. They're a staple, and I think that we look a lot like them.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, it's like I'm Butthead and you're Beavis. I've tagged us in a lot of photos so far. And yeah, you're just like, hey, and I'm like, okay.
What about Eon Flux? I could never really get into that. I used to watch it sometimes, but it was like really trippy, and you kind of never understood what was going on as a kid. You know what I mean? Like that era when it was on, I was kind of lost. It was cool or whatever, but it was like really a trip. Just like the head was really a trip too. It's like,
yeah, the head was weird.
Thinking,
I forgot about that.
They're on super good drugs.
And then
yeah.
There was another show that I remember seeing when I was looking up all these old shows that sparked my memory. It was called The Grind. And it was from 92 to 97, and it was all about people dancing. You would watch people dance. It would be like a club, and the camera would just move around and focus on different people doing different popular dances at the time. And that's ridiculous. The Grind, like... That's what happens when you have 24 hours of television to fill up, and you're running out of music videos and episodes of Daria, so you just throw on The Grind.
Yeah, well, you know what's crazy to think about now is we could even really think about Jersey Shore as a throwback.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah, no, for real. 2012 is throwback.
Yep. I kind of want to
started in 2009.
I want to get The Grind on Blu-ray, all seasons, and just play them at like house parties and shit. Because I remember, it reminds me of this show called Dance 360. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's on like KTLA or something, like the same channel that Maury Povich is on. And I remember back in the day, years ago, when Mikey Booyah used to dabble in, hard drugs, I would go over to my drug dealer's house, and we would all sit around and do meth, and we would watch Dance 360, and it was just fucking people dancing, and it would go 360, and everybody in the whole room would do it, and everyone was on the outskirts dancing, and then someone would come in the middle and like do the worm, and we would watch that shit for hours.
Why was that a thing at that time? Like, was it because it was on late at night?
It was on during the day. It was weird. It was just like, I don't know why, but every time I went over there, it was on, and I would always pay attention to it.
Fucking weirdos.
So it became like a joke. Like every time the Dance 360 came on, like I would get all excited, and they'd be like, "Oh, Mikey's favorite show's on," and fucking I would be all like freshly high and try to like do the dances. You know what I mean? It's a crazy life. Crazy life. Don't do drugs, kids. Just smoke weed, do mushrooms and shit.
Don't listen to that. Drugs are good.
Yeah, drugs are all right, but I've unfortunately had a crazy childhood, which I wouldn't really take back. I experienced a lot of shit. I never would have known about Dance 360, and this past 5 minutes of this podcast would have been empty.
Yep, you never know. Another staple was Jackass.
Yeah, when did Jackass start?
Huge. It started in 2000. So that's like even a leap. You know what I mean? For Jackass to start in 2000 seems like yesterday. And here we are. It's already been 15 years. You know what I mean? Like, that's a for sure throwback. Mm-hmm. And that shit was the first of its kind. When that came out, I was in high school, sophomore in high school. So, I mean, that's when, like, I really distinctly remember, like, everybody trying to do crazy shit after that came out. It was like an epidemic. It was, like, in the news and shit all the time. Like, people were always doing dumb shit, like jumping off of roofs in the bushes and
shopping
doing
carts.
the shopping cart.
Yeah, shopping carts were around forever. And then all of a sudden, you saw Jackass, and then everybody wanted their friend to push them into a bush with the shopping cart.
everything just got extreme after Jackass came out, and I think it was awesome because look at all the content we've had over the years from that. Like, I still get a lot of enjoyment. You could put on the first season Jackass right now and laugh your fucking ass off at every episode. You know, like, that shit's hilarious, and it never stopped being funny. And the movies became really good, and like, I don't know, they really did it right, and it's just like full of entertainment for everyone.
Yeah, I found out that in the revamped season of Beavis and Butthead, when they were making it in 2011, Kanye West approached them and wanted one of his music videos to be featured on the show. And another songwriter that was featured on the show said that he didn't want anything to do with him and that he didn't want Kanye on the show. So Mike Judge told him to fuck off and, like, turned him down.
Nice.
Fuck yeah. I thought that was dope.
Hell
He's
yeah.
like, no, I don't care who you are.
Even more respect for Mike Judge now.
Yep, he's a beast, man. He's fucking provided entertainment forever with his shitty cartoons. His drawings are not good. I'm not going to sugarcoat it and say they are. They're horrible.
A lot of the time, the content wasn't even that good. It was like so dumb, it was funny sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It was pretty cool though.
Yeah.
It was just that was our generation. You know, like we were in the midst of creating everything. You know, that whole era, 90s and on. You know, it's like the era when people started becoming more and more original and starting to like push the envelope and change everything. You know, and we created our own type of content. We created reality TV. We created everything, and now look where it's at. You know, it's the top of everything. So, and the same with our music. You know, like all the music that we pushed and created, whether it was what rock evolved into or what hip hop evolved into. You know what I mean? Like everything came from our generation. Now we're running the world. You know what I'm saying? Everything is on top of everything. Yeah. So it's like,
and it's weird
crazy to see.
It's weird to look at all these people that were involved in this old MTV shit that are still influential and still doing work. You know what I mean? I didn't know that that the Jon Stewart show was originally on MTV. I forgot all about that. But from 93 to 95, he did that and then moved over to Comedy Central, and now he's gone.
Yep. He's the shit.
Do you remember MTV Sports?
Not really.
Nobody does. Because what's the point of MTV Sports? Like, we're trying to sit around and get high and listen to music. We don't want to do sports.
Yeah, if we want to do sports, we put on the Real World or like Road Rules or something like that.
Yeah, some of these ideas were really bad. And then they had that show Undressed that was all about like gay and lesbian couples.
Nice.
And that was really before its time too. That was in the 90s when everybody was really hateful about shit like that, and they were like, look, fuck y'all.
Yep, a lot of good shit, man. A lot of Snoop Dogg had a TV show back.
Yeah.
Like 2002, Doggy Fizzle Televizzle.
Yep, I remember that. I remember that fondly.
Cause man, that TV show was straight stupid. No one wants to see it, that's realer than real. Man, people want to see something that they can feel. I'm telling you what's up, cause I know the deal. Now sit your ass down and witness mass appeal. Don't change the dizzle, turn it up a little. This is the bizzle, Snoopy Deagle double jizzle. Yeah, it's off the hizzle, for shizzle, for grizzle. This is the show we call Doggy Fizzle.
Doggy Fizzle.
Yeah, son.
That was going to be in the theme song, Guess That Theme Song challenge. But he does his own theme song, so there's no way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that show was ridiculous, dude. And in this episode that I'm playing, he's driving out onto stage in an Impala. Like, he's standing out of the sunroof, someone else is driving, he's driving through the crowd inside of a studio. That's off the hook, man. He did what he wanted for a show, that's for sure.
A lot of their shows were really creative, dude. A lot of, like, Punk'd was super creative. I really loved it in the beginning. Like, the first seasons were the shit.
Yeah.
Cribs was awesome back when it felt real. You know what I mean? Until it turned into, like, who could have the biggest, best fucking crib ever, you know? Like, in the beginning, it would show, like, a mix between, like, normal houses and, like, extravagant, super big houses and everything, you know what I mean? Like, back then, it was like, man, it really drove the culture to want to do more. You know what I mean? It's like, look, you can get all this from just making music or from fucking whatever you're doing. You know what I mean? And people like would see that and want that and want to like.
Yeah, and most of those were executives' houses, producers' houses. Greg and Craig actually. A lot of people don't know that Greg and Craig are married, and they live in a giant fucking house in Beverly Hills, and that was one of the houses that they used. I remember watching Tech Nine's Absolute Power documentary that came with the Absolute Power CD, and he was talking about, because he was on MTV Cribs back in the day, and they did like this whole fucking giant house that had like a bowling alley and shit. And he was like, when I filmed this, I was living at my aunt's house. Like, I was living on a couch and like putting out albums and making money and shit, but I was like in between places. And it was some executive for like some record company that they were doing their distribution through, that they like went to his house and set it all up there and just pretended that was his house. And he was just walking around. And he was like, a lot of those rooms, I was seeing them for the first time, just like you. Like, we would walk in there, and I'd be like, oh, yeah. And then I would just make up something about the bed, like where I got it, and just be like, yeah, this is old, like, solid cherry oak. And it wasn't even right. Like, he was just bullshitting. So I wonder a lot of those are probably like that. Did you ever see...
I really think a lot of them were like that.
Did you ever see Redman's Cribs episode?
Yeah, that was one of my favorite ones. I was just gonna bring that up because that was fucking legit. That was like really his fucking cousin sleeping in the house.
Yeah.
It was like really his apartment, and he owned like 2 of them or some shit.
Yeah.
It was legit, dude. It was funny as fuck.
He had one bedroom that was just full of recording equipment and like a little beat laboratory, and then he had a box full of dollar bills on top of the fridge, and it was just a house. It was just like our house, like fucking whatever, you know. He was like,
it reminds me
this
of
is where I
like
live.
San Miguel.
Yeah, it was
You know
good.
what I'm saying? Like that's how San Miguel is. San Miguel's super chill like that. Like trap houses and everybody fucking kicks it at the same spot all the time. But,
yeah,
just
that
like
shit was funny. So I say that we go ahead and pay some tribute to these old school MTV shows and smoke a little bit of weed.
Yeah, always.
Have a little NHP smoke sesh.
I got something special for that ass.
Oh shit. Well, Joey's got the music, and all you listeners out there, look, listen up, listeners. Pack your bowls, get everything ready. You should be heating up your nail right now if you're taking a dab. The torch should be on and going. And
engaged.
Or breaking up your nugs or doing whatever you got to do. Find your lighter. You should have everything now, so let's do it and all smoke together.
Get your selfie sticks ready. Have your camera angle set, ready to go.
Make sure you get in a dangerous place, like up on the top of a skyscraper.
Shoot your little flick, and then do your hashtag NHP smoke sesh.
Yep, with all the right capital letters.
And tag us in it, or like put it on our page, and we'll repost it on our profiles and stuff.
Yep, we'll show everybody you doing drugs.
Yeah.
All right, hit us with the music. That's tasty. What are you smoking on today, Joey?
Smoking on some zombie. Zombie, yeah, I don't know.
Nice.
Never heard of it before, but
I'm smoking on that Daria. I got that OG Daria.
I'm really a zombie.
Whoa. I like that handwriting. Zombie.
It's got to be a bitch, right? Mm-hmm. That's what I was thinking. It's not some dude.
No, that was a lady handling your nugs.
Dudes never have handwriting like that.
No.
Nope.
I don't care how gay you are. No. Your handwriting is a mess.
You know what else was a cool show? Pimp My Ride. Pimp My Ride.
Goddamn right it was.
I used to like the creativeness, like the stupid shit that they would do. You know, like sometimes they'd put really dumb shit, like, "Oh, let's put this pop-out inflatable drive-in screen."
Or it'd be like, "I'm gonna put
watch a movie wherever you're at.
I'm gonna put a fish tank in your trunk," and it's like, wait a minute, like that sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah.
To maintain that thing, and then towards
With
the end,
hydraulics.
yeah, towards the end they just started phoning shit in, and it was the same thing over and over again. They would just be like, yeah, I'm going to do this sparkly paint. Then we're going to put a system in there. We're going to put flat screen TVs. And then we're also going to put a PlayStation. And it's like, okay, cool. Well, you did that in the past 3 episodes. So give me something new. Magic Mike.
Yeah.
Was that his name? Was his name Magic Mike? Was he the original Magic Mike?
Yeah. There was a Mike, and then there was a Ish. And I don't know, there was a few. Yeah.
And then I love all the... I love when people make fun of Pimp My Ride and do all the different little comedy skits. Like there was a Robot Chicken did Pimp My Sister, and Exhibit showed up and just like made this kid's sister like a super whore. And then he was all like, "Yeah, who wants a piece of my sister?" And like started fucking like making money and shit.
Nice.
And then there was something else that I saw, and it just like kept shooting to people at the table when they're brainstorming. He's like, "All right, man, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it all cherry white." It's like, what's cherry white?
Yeah, what the fuck?
No, it was a weird show. I think that everyone was on heroin by the end, and that's what killed him. Because Exhibit, his main goal in life is to sell heroin to everyone that he meets. And that's just because he's from the streets, and he's a hustler, and that's how it goes. So... yeah. Once he was done with everyone there, he moved on to whatever he's doing now.
So BuzzFeed has this list. It's called 21 Reasons Nothing Was Better Than MTV in the 90s. And obviously it's got 21 things. But
that's what
it's a good list. It's a cool list of shit.
Yeah, I see this guillotine promo. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All their ads were really weird. And I think that's what started with the, what was it called? The
Celebrity Deathmatch.
Liquid television.
Oh, yeah. Where, like, the blend of, like, all this claymation and regular animation and shit. And, like, everything that they did was really awkward and weird and, like, super different and, like, first of its kind.
Yeah,
and
real
I think
bloody
that's why all
and,
these
like,
shows, like... Yeah, that's why all these shows stuck out. Like that's why Celebrity Deathmatch was around for so long and did so well. That's the only reason why there is a Robot Chicken now. You know what I mean? Like all these things had to come from somewhere, and it's MTV's era that started it all.
And also, which was an MTV production that I totally forgot about, was Heavy Metal. You remember that movie?
Yeah.
I remember I got a hold of Heavy Metal way too young. I was way too young to be watching some naked bitch chopping up a bunch of ogres. I was maybe like, I don't know, like 6 or 7 when I first found the VHS of Heavy Metal, and I fucking watched it all the time. And still to this day, I'll sit back and watch it every once in a while. And that was like that weird, dark, like animation where, like in the 80s and shit, how they used to make cartoons to watch when you were on drugs. Like cartoons were specifically made for people on acid and mushrooms, and like people's faces were melting, and like you remember that movie The Cell with J-Lo? Really? Dude, we should do a movie matinee on that. That'd be good. But she watches one in there. There's like some cartoon where these two bitches are like rolling around on the ground, and then their hair gets interconnected, and they're like both trying to pull their hair apart. And it's just weird, trippy shit that they used to make that is really today's equivalent of, your Robot Chicken or, whatever weird adult cartoons that they make now. They were just so much stranger back in the day. And MTV really, they were on the forefront of that with with the liquid television.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it. I keep forgetting.
Fucking Pauly Shore was still around, so life was cooler back then.
Yeah, he's dead now.
Hey, you know what? I don't care what people say about him. I think he's still cool.
You don't care if people say he's dead?
No, I think that he was fucking dope in his time, and I still can watch some of those old movies and still have like the same nostalgic feeling I had back in the day when I first watched them. Like, those movies are fucking classic, dude. Encino Man,
fuck yeah.
Biodome, fucking Son-in-Law, In the Army Now, all these fucking movies, dude. Everything that he did was so big and so far ahead of his time, and all he was doing was just being him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Pauly Shore's dope. It's like, I'm not hating on him. I don't know why you getting all angry at me, getting all defensive, trying to stand up for Pauly Shore. But I agree with you. His movies are definitely classics, but I wouldn't imagine that I would be able to hang out with him for too long. Or
I'm sure he's weird, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, we all are. But just simply like, just like if he acts anything like his characters, then I don't know if, like, I can't watch 3 Pauly Shore movies in a row, but I could watch them 3 days in a row, no problem. But 3 in a row is too many. But I could watch the Blade trilogy all day.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Biodome's like one of my favorite movies ever. That shit is just stupid. And that's what's so funny about it, is how dumb it is. You know? It's like,
and Stephen Baldwin.
Really smart. Yeah.
He inspired my hair. A lot of people see my spider legs and they're like, what are you trying to be, Coolio? What are you trying to be, Twisted? And it's like, before any of that, there was Stephen Baldwin in Biodome and his little tight dreadlocks that he had. And I always wanted hair like that. And this is the closest I can get.
Free the Mahi Mahi. Mm-hmm. Hey, there was like, Tenacious D performing in that movie.
Tenacious D performed in which movie?
In Biodome.
Really?
Yeah.
No way. That's crazy.
Where they're doing the little back rub benefit thing out on the grass, and the guys performing. Yeah, dude, that was Tenacious D. Dude, it was Jack Black and Kyle Gass. It was like their first appearance ever as Tenacious D.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, we got to do Saturday Matinee on that shit. That shit was the dope ass movie.
Yeah, definitely. And then
and it was the MTV era too. Like, everything was the same. The type of music that was in that movie, it was like all MTV type of music. The way that they dressed and everything, and like, I don't know, everything was like that same era.
Do you remember when Weird Al Yankovic used to take over the airwaves?
Yeah.
And just stop MTV? I saw it on this BuzzFeed list, and it reminded me of it. That he had his own private satellite transmitter, and he would just stop the show. He would just take over. All of a sudden, it would be him, and then he would play music videos that he wanted to see. And that's a great gig. They don't really do shit like that anymore. You know what I mean? They won't give someone a show that is just randomly, just record, 5 hours of material, and we'll just put you in, 10, 15 minutes here and there. They should revamp that. Someone should redo it. Weird Al's a fucking genius.
Yeah, he was always really good. I mean, everything he did was parody, and you have to be like a fan of that type of shit. But even though the things he were doing was parody, he did put like time and skill into everything. Like, even when he recreated shit, he really sang shit. He really fucking would hit like the same type of notes, and he would have the same amount of words in the right places or whatever. He would just change the words, and you know what I mean? Like, he was really smart about everything he did. Like, a lot of people can't even do that now. Yeah,
it's like it's easy to make to make fun of a song and like rewrite it or sing the words different, but it's hard to do it, 100+ times with all these hit songs and make them like funny and original every time. And he's still doing shit. I'll still see him every once in a while.
Killing it.
Mm-hmm. So, do you want to play a little short game of Guess That Theme Song? Because I got a couple over here, but I couldn't find that many.
Full House, Seinfeld, Blossom Wings, Hey Dude, Twin Peaks, Dawson's Creek. Wait, was that Sequest DSV or was it Pete? Complete the theme.
Bitch, it's time to play Guess That Theme Song.
Cheers! The adventures of
But first
Briscoe
we'll play
County
Guess That
Jr.
Theme Song.
Sit back, tingle
When
now.
you play against that theme song, your
Step by
TV theme
step.
song game
Cosby
SP100.
Show,
What you
American Gladiator. One thing Fred Savage was in that wasn't the Wonder Years. Ciao.
So, why don't you go ahead and go first? Kick it off.
All right, let's see what we got here.
And I'm going to school you because I know every theme song from the 90s ever.
All right, let's see.
God, this sounds so familiar too. It's like I've
Hate
definitely
yourself.
heard it before. Fuck. All right, what is it? What is it?
A celebrity death match.
Fuck. God damn it. Yep,
Oh shit!
that's what
Starting
it is.
off with
I
a
knew it.
right hook.
Starting off with a big old zero, old goose egg. All right, I got one for you.
All right.
This is my stop. Got to get off. I may go pop. Excuse me. Excuse me. I've got to be direct.
Do you know what it is? I didn't
Yeah.
want to. I didn't want to let it go too long.
It's Daria.
Ding, 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 ding. You're correct.
Winner.
One chicken dinner for Joey Black. Bring it over.
One chicken
Hey,
dinner.
hey, excuse me, sir. Bring over the chicken dinner for my friend. He won it.
Yeah.
It
I
should,
want sauce.
it should be here soon.
Sauce.
He nodded at me, so I think that means soon.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Let's
All
see
right.
what you got.
Okay. Here we go.
All right. Was that Jackass?
Winner.
Yeah. Sir, 2 chicken dinners, sir.
Yeah.
One, yeah.
Underlay.
One for me, one for him. Yeah, we both won. 2 dinners, please. 2 chicken. All right, they're coming. I got another one for you. You're never gonna guess
Yeah.
this one.
Okay.
Well, what do you think?
Yo. MTV Rap, right?
Yep. God damn it! It's Yo MTV Raps.
Damn, I'm killing it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's hit you with a harder one.
So you want to be a player, but your wheels ain't flying. You gotta hit us up to get a pimped out ride. You got to pimp my ride. Damn right. So you want to be a player.
Oh man. Fuck.
Hard.
All right, hold on. Is it Pimp My Ride?
Winner.
Yeah.
3
So what's the
chicken
score?
dinners.
All right, what's the score? I got what?
You got 2?
3.
You got 3?
You got 2.
No, I only played 2 songs so far. So you can't have 3 points.
All right, we'll play another one. I'm about to have 3.
Okay, you got what it is you got 2, and then I got 1, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay.
All right.
Uncle Louie, where are you? Dinner's on the table.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, I'll be there in 5 minutes. All the way to Jersey in 5 minutes?
Okay, here it is. Are you ready? There it is. That was it.
What?
That was the whole theme song for the show.
Shut
Any guesses?
up. No.
We've been talking about it a lot.
I don't know.
It's Liquid Television.
Really?
Yeah, that was the theme song. It said the name in it like 5 times. I can't believe you didn't get that.
I couldn't hear it.
Well, that was it. That's all those are all the theme songs I have because I ran out.
Nice.
Do you have another one?
Yep.
You play it and then you can guess on this one to get more points.
Oh, you guess. See if you get it.
Wait a minute.
I'm gonna give you what you need. I'm gonna make your ears bleed.
Is that the Bam Margera show?
Is it what?
Bam Margera show.
Yep. Viva la Bam.
Oh yeah, that's what it's called.
Bam.
Viva la Bam. Does that count if I say it wrong?
Well, I guess it's the same thing.
Yeah, Viva la Bam, Bam Margera show.
Viva la Bam.
Whatever.
Here's our new theme song. Ready?
Yep.
People, let me tell you about my best friend. He's a warm-hearted person who loved me till the end. People, let me tell you about my best friend.
We're both doing the same dance.
Funny. Robin Big with the shit.
Fuck yeah, that show was dope.
Yeah.
I watched that for a while, so I guess that was the last
such
thing
a
I
fun
watched
show.
on MTV.
It was really shitty how it ended too. Like how he supposedly just had a kid and then had a dip or whatever, and then he like came back for Fantasy Factory or whatever. I don't know.
Who is
It's
it?
still-
Rob had a kid?
No, Big Black.
Yeah, I was gonna say because Rob doesn't have sex with girls or boys. He just
You know what?
he
He's getting married now.
focuses on his goals. He's getting married
Did you know that?
to who?
Yeah. I don't know. She's like a supermodel or somewhere. I don't know.
No way. Good for him.
Yeah, check it out. It's like everywhere.
I'm gonna check it out right
He
now.
like got engaged to her like Cinderella style.
It says
He-
Brianna Noel Flores
Oh.
is her name, and it looks like being smoking hot is her game.
Yep.
Damn, she's super fine.
Killing it, Rob.
Yep, you're doing good, pal. And he's getting old. Poor guy. And he's like still the same size as a little guy, like as he was when he was 18.
What's
He's-
old? He doesn't look old.
He's little man shaped. Well, I'm saying he's getting an old face. Like he looks like Michael J. Fox in one of these pictures.
That fool still kills it on the skateboard better than anybody we know.
That's very true. But that doesn't mean that he is not victim to age. Because it's going to happen, all right? It's like, how old is he even?
Well, you never know. Hollywood has its influence on people, and he might end up like getting Botox one day or something like the rest of the crazy stars that go through that.
You never know. He probably already has.
Might see a
Jesus.
robot.
He's only 24.
Rob, shut the fuck up.
He's only 24 years old.
Yeah, right.
No. Never mind. Sorry. He's 24. I don't know why. Whew. That was crazy.
Maybe back then he was 24.
He's 41 is how old he is.
Yeah.
That sounds more like it. And Tony Hawk's almost 50.
Yeah, Tony Hawk is still busting 900 on that ass, probably.
Fuck yeah. Just today, he was probably doing some shit on his fucking flipper board. And it's funny, because I can't even skate anymore, and I'm not even 30 yet. And these fools are ripping it up.
Yeah.
Well, just goes to show that if you can stay the size of a small man as you grow up, you can still skateboard. Because I'm pretty sure Tony Hawk's not that big either.
What's your most memorable MTV moment? Like, out of everything that happened, out of like all the years growing up watching TV, what do you think stood out more than anything?
For me, I think would be, I'm trying to figure out who it was, but it's like I didn't really watch the show that much, and there was a lot of other things that probably influenced me a lot subconsciously, but the first thing that comes to my brain is the time in real world Seattle when that dude slapped that bitch right in the fucking face, like super fucking hard. And it was all over TV. This dude slapping this bitch's mouth, and for some reason I always remembered that, and that's what popped in my head when you asked me that question. So to be completely honest, it's the slap to the face in the real world Seattle. What about you?
I don't know. There was a lot of stuff, but I think probably the biggest one was the Notorious B.I.G. funeral.
Oh yeah. See, you trying to make my thing sound stupid, like.
Well, like, it was crazy the way that it was televised, and like how it was such a big deal, and like how like New York just like shut down and people were like filled up the streets and everybody was crying, and like it was crazy. People really felt for that dude, and he was so young. You know what I mean? Like, it was a huge deal. That was at the height of like gangster music in the 90s, and Tupac and Biggie dying and shit was like one of the craziest moments of all time. People were fucking singing in the streets afterwards and shit. Like, it was crazy, bro. It was like it was a moment. It was a sad moment, but an awesome moment at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, the tragedy obviously was the sad part that he died, but the crazy part is like the unity and like how many lives he actually touched. It's just like he contributed to society, right? Like he was here in this little glimpse, this little moment in time, and he left behind a legacy that impacted fucking millions of people's lives. Yeah. And still kids are fucking learning more. Like, you know, like, I'm not even like a big B.I.G. fan or whatever. I'm more of a Tupac fan because I've been like, I grew up out here my whole life, and I was way more a Tupac fan, and it was a big deal when Tupac died too for us. So like, I went through that and I felt that, you know what I mean? Like, I went through my own type of like mourning, being alive and going through that when that happened, you know what I mean? Like, everybody really felt a loss that day. Yeah. But I didn't understand the East Coast shit or like the Notorious B.I.G. shit until I saw it unfold on TV. You know, it was different. It was like, you know what I mean? It was like I had a disconnect because I don't know everything over there, but I felt for them, and I felt like the same type of thing that they were going through. You know what I mean? Like, it was crazy. It was like, it was really big for that time.
Yeah, that you saying that reminds me of. I want to change my answer now about the real world slap. What I remember most from back in the day in the 90s and MTV was the death of Kurt Cobain, because I remember. Yeah. When the first that I ever heard of it was on MTV from Kurt Loder, and they had like a helicopter flying above his house, and Kurt Loder was like talking about how Kurt Cobain killed himself, and it was like super crazy. I was too young to like to understand and like be as upset as I was. I remember it like it you know, fucked with me, like made me kind of sad and shit. And still to this day, fucking Kurt Cobain was an amazing artist, and you know, just like Biggie, just in a different genre of music. You know, he was influential and touched so many people's lives that him dying, you know, shook the world. And MTV used to bring us MTV News 8 minutes to the hour every hour, and now we don't get that anymore. You don't get any news on MTV, so you don't get you're not up to date with your favorite artists. And even if they did do MTV News 8 minutes to the hour, it would always be about Kanye West. Every hour of every day.
Yep, it's crazy.
Kanye. So, yeah, I mean, there's really no way for you to go back and enjoy MTV unless you have a VHS collection or you want to go torrent some old, like, MTV shows. But it's if you didn't live it, then you really missed out, you know?
Yeah. Here's I found a clip from that shit from the Biggie funeral. They were booing at cops walking by.
Listen to me. See all these cameras all around here. When the pictures go across the world, you got cameras from all across the world. When the pictures go across the world, we want those pictures to show that we know how to show respect for our own. This is Biggie's blood. That's why we're here. We are here because of Biggie, and we want to show him respect.
Crazy, man. There's people everywhere. It's like a parade or something. They got police all through the streets.
That's nuts. And you know, MTV really used to be a voice for the young people. You know what I mean?
Crazy, man. Sad day. Yeah, there's just people everywhere, dude. People fill the streets. Like, you don't see that shit really that often.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't see when somebody passes like that. It doesn't, like, touches a lot of people's lives. But nowadays, like, you don't really see people flock to the streets when somebody passes like that.
Yeah,
like
if they did,
used to.
a bunch of them would get fucking shot at and arrested.
Yeah. You know, times have definitely changed.
Yeah, I think you know, MTV. I'm glad that we got to live through it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's a part of history that we won't get back. There won't be a MTV again like it was. That was like I said, that was the voice of the youth. And you could go there and, you know, fucking Uncle Kurt would give it to you how it is. And it wasn't all it wasn't driven. I mean, it was, but not how everything is today. It wasn't driven by advertising and an agenda. They just gave you news and entertainment, and that's what they did. And you know, we thank you for it. Thank you, MTV.
Yeah, and not just like news or, you know what I mean, like they did the shit that was like catered to us, the shit that we cared about, the shit that was relevant to us. You know, like we didn't care about a lot of outlets didn't give us the entertainment and music things that we wanted to know about ahead of time. Like, you know what I mean? Like a lot of places they only know like politics and weather and everyday current events and shit like that. You know, like they don't have any insight into any of those things before that. You know, like it was really the first in like genre entertainment, you know, like especially with music and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool.
Yep. So, you know, shout out to MTV. Y'all are the shit. Thank you for joining us, everybody. And we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, peace, bitches.
The Natural Habitat Podcast.